I'm happy to welcome you to the Chem series. This is Ramya. Today let us understand and learn what is valence shell electron pair repulsion, which has an acronym VSEPR theory. So before going into the theory, you have to know what is valence electron and how to calculate it for an element. The outer shell electron will be the valence electron and it participates in the bond formation. So first I will tell you what are electron shells. It is an outside part of the atom around the atomic nucleus. It is where the electrons are present. The electron shells have one or more subshells like S or S and P or S and P and D and so on. And based on these shells, they are identified by the alphabetical letters, that is K, L, M, N, etc. K can accommodate 2 electrons of S subshell and L can accommodate 8 electrons of S and P subshell, that is 2 plus 6, and M shell contains 18 electrons, that is S plus P plus D, 2 plus 6 plus 10 electrons, and so on. So for example, if we take sodium atom, it has totally 11 electrons. So while filling it in the respective K, L and M shells, it will be left out with 1 electron in M shell, which is the outer shell electron. Fine. So in this periodic table, you can see if we try to get the valence electron for all the elements, then the outer electronic configuration should be written in order to find the outer shells. So S1 will be the outer shell electron for the group 1 and S2 will be for the group 2. And coming to D block elements, the outer shell electron will start from D1S2 for scandium and yttrium and D2S2 for titanium group and D3S2 for vanadium group and D4S2 for chromium group and so on. So coming to P block elements, P1S2 for boron group and P2S2 for carbon group and P3S2 for nitrogen group and P4S2 for oxygen group and so on. Now the outer shell configuration has been written. So to find the valence electrons, we need to add the outer shell electrons for each group. Fine. So the valence electron will be 1 for the group 1 and 2 for the group 2 and 1 plus 2 it will be 3 for scandium and yttrium and 2 plus 2 4 for titanium group and 5 for vanadium group and so on. And for P block elements it is 3 for the boron group and 4 for carbon group and 5 for nitrogen group and 6 for oxygen group and 7 for the halogens and 8 for the noble gases. So VSEPR theory, it is also called as Gillespie-Nylon theory, which is named after the scientist who have postulated it. VSEPR theory is used to predict the geometry of individual molecules from the number of valence electron pairs surrounding their central atoms. So for example, if we take H2O molecule, here hydrogen atom is contained with 1 valence electron as we seen before and oxygen has 6 valence electron. So for a bond formation we need 2 electrons. So 1 from the hydrogen and 1 from the oxygen, which combines to form a bond. And the remaining valence electron which are not involved in the bond formation is called the lone pairs of electron. So this water molecule is bent in shape and the oxygen contains 2 lone pairs which do not involve in bond formation. The atoms are surrounded by clouds of negatively charged electrons and in a molecule there will be 2 or more atoms whose electron clouds repel each other. So think about these electrons are magnets. The more you bring closer, they have more potential energy and want to pull apart, lowering these energies. So based on the sharing and transfer of electrons, a molecule will automatically adopt a particular geometry so as to allow all the atoms to be far away from each other as possible. Fine. So I will come to the postulates. The shape of the molecule is determined by the repulsions between all the electrons present in the valence shell. And the electron pairs in the valence shell of the central atom repel each other, as I told before, and align themselves to minimize this repulsion. On alignment, they will form a shape or a geometry. Okay. And the lone pair electrons takes up more space around the central atom than the bond pair. And the lone pair is attracted to only one nucleus, whereas the bond pair is shared by two nuclei. The minimum repulsions to the state, minimum energy and the maximum stability of the molecule. Fine. Lower the energy, stability will be more. So for lowering energy, they will align into different shapes for their more stability. This is the chart you have to remember while solving structures. Here in the first row, it says about hybridization, sp, sp2, sp3 and sp3d and sp3d2. And in the second row, we have the number of hybrid orbitals, that is the combination of two or more atomic orbitals will give you the hybrid orbitals. For example, S atomic orbital is combined with p atomic orbital to give sp hybrid orbitals. So the number of hybrid orbitals will be 2. Fine. Likewise, for sp2, the number of hybrid orbitals will be 3 by adding 1 s and 2 p's. And for sp3 hybridization, the hybrid orbitals will be 4. And for sp3d, the hybrid orbitals will be 5. And sp3d2, the number of hybrid orbitals will be 6. So based on the lone pairs on the central atom, the shapes are being distinguished for a hybridization. So for sp hybridization, when it has no lone pair, at that time it will be in linear shape, for example CO2. And for sp2 hybridization, when the lone pair is 0, it will be trigonal planar, for example BF3. When there is a lone pair, that is this atom is being replaced by a lone pair, at that time it will be of bent shape, for example SO2. For sp3 hybridization, the shape will be tetrahedral, for example CH4, when there is no lone pair. And when one atom is being replaced by a lone pair, at that time it will be of pyramidal shape, for example ammonia. When it have two lone pair, that is this atom is also being replaced by a lone pair, at that time it will be of bent shape, that is for example H2O molecule. For sp3d hybridization, when we have no lone pairs, it will be of trigonal bipyramidal, for example PCl5. So when this atom is being replaced by a lone pair, it will be of seesaw, for example SF4. When this atom is also being replaced by a lone pair, then it will be of T-shaped. Why it is being replacing here? Because it will be of more stable, that's why. And sp3d2, the shape is octahedral when we have 0 lone pair, for example SF6. When one atom is again replaced by a lone pair, it will be of IF5 square pyramidal. And it is this atom is being replaced by a lone pair, it will be of square planar, for example XeF4. So I will discuss how the shapes are being formed. For example, if we take for sp hybridization, the example is CO2. Here the carbon will be your central atom. So carbon valence electron is 4. The 4 valence electron are being denoted as like this. I have chosen this symbol. Fine, you can choose any symbol. So we have 2 oxygen atom. Each oxygen atom will bond to carbon with double bond, right? So oxygen has 6 valence electron. So the 2 valence electron of carbon and 2 valence electron of oxygen will combine to form a bond. And these will be the lone pairs of oxygen. So 2 hybrid orbitals are being formed, that is sp hybridization, and your shape will be linear and the geometry will be linear. When we have lone pair 0, the geometry and the shape will be same. So it's a trick you can remember. This is the 3D view of CO2. The next hybridization is sp2. For example, if we take BF3, boron will be your central atom and its valence electron is 3. I have written the 3 valence electron like this, and there are 3 fluorine atoms. Each fluorine atom will have 7 valence electron. So 1 electron from boron and 1 electron from fluorine will combine to form a bond. Likewise, 3 boron atoms will be used by the 3 fluorine atoms. Hence, there will be no lone pair for the for the boron. So there are 3 hybrid orbitals and sp2 hybridization. Your shape will be trigonal planar and the geometry will also be trigonal planar, and this is the 3D view of the molecule. So coming to the second example of sp2 hybridization, that is SO2. S will be your central atom and its valence electron is 6. It has been written like this. So there are 2 oxygen atoms. So as we seen before for CO2, it takes 2 bonds for a oxygen atom to be bonded with sulfur. Okay, so 4 electrons of sulfur, valence electron of sulfur is being used for the bond formation of 2 oxygens, and 2 valence electrons are being remaining, which will be your lone pair, which is present on the sulfur. So totally there are 3 hybrid orbitals, sp2 hybridization. So your shape will be bent, but the geometry will be trigonal planar. So this is your 3D view. Coming to sp3 hybridization, first we will take CH4, we will solve it. Here carbon will be your central atom and its valence electron is 4, which is being written as this, and the 4 hydrogen atom will have 1 valence electron each, and these will combine to form a bond. Hence there are 4 hybrid orbitals and there are no other electrons which is being available in carbon as a lone pair. So the lone pair is 0 and it is of sp3 hybridization, and the shape will be tetrahedral and the geometry will also be tetrahedral. This is the 3D view. Coming to the second example of sp3, that is ammonia. Here nitrogen will be your central atom and its valence electron is 5. So I have written the 5 valence electron as this, and it has 3 hydrogen atom which takes 3 valence electron of nitrogen for the bond formation, and remaining 2 valence electrons of nitrogen will be left out as a lone pair. So there are 4 hybrid orbitals, which is sp3 hybridization. This is pyramidal. Fine. And the geometry is tetrahedral. Coming to, and this H2O molecule, I think you can do it by your own. If you have any doubt, please ask me in the comment section. Coming to sp3 dehybridization, their first example is PCl5. Here phosphorus will be your central atom and its valence electron is 5, which is being written like this. And there are 5 chlorine atoms. So chlorine have 7 valence electron. 1 electron will be involved in the bond formation. So there are no other electrons left out for the phosphorus as a lone pair. All the 5 electrons are being used by the chlorine. So your hybrid orbitals will be 5 and it is sp3 dehybridization. The shape will be trigonal bipyramidal. The geometry will also be trigonal bipyramidal. The next will be your SF4. Here sulfur will be your central atom and its valence electron is 6. So the 6 valence electron are being written like this. And there are 4 fluorine atoms which have 7 valence electron each. It has 7 valence electron each. So 4 valence electron of sulfur will be used by the fluorine atoms to get bonded. So there will be 2 valence electron which is being left out by the sulfur as a lone pair. So there are totally 5 hybrid orbitals, sp3 dehybridization, and the shape will be seesaw, can see because of one lone pair, and the geometry will be trigonal bipyramidal. The next example will be BrF3. Bromine will be your central atom and its valence electron is 7. So I have written the 7 valence electron as this, and there are only 3 fluorine atoms. So this 3 fluorine atoms will take 3 valence electron of bromine and remaining 4 valence electrons of bromine will be left out as 2 lone pairs. Fine. So there will be 5 hybrid orbitals, sp3 dehybridization. The shape will be T-shaped and the geometry will be trigonal bipyramidal. Coming to the sp3 d2 hybridization, the first example is SF6. So sulfur will be your central atom and its valence electron is 6, and the 6 valence electron are being shown like this. There are 6 fluorine atoms which will bond to the 6 valence electron of sulfur. So there will be no left out valence electrons in sulfur, hence there is no lone pair, 0 lone pair, and there are 6 hybrid orbitals, sp3 d2 hybridization. So the shape will be octahedral and the geometry will also be octahedral. The second example will be SbCl5 2-. So here Sb will be your central atom and its valence electron is 5. I have written 5 valence electron, and also in excess I have written 2 valence electron because the electrons are in excess in the number 2. Fine, 2-, that's why I have written 2 excess electrons. So there are 5 chlorine atoms. So 5 chlorine atoms will take 5 valence electron of antimony for the bond formation, and the 2 electrons of antimony will be left out as a lone pair. So totally there will be 6 hybrid orbitals, that is sp3 d2 hybridization, and the shape will be square pyramidal and the geometry will be octahedral. The last example will be XeF4. Xe will be your central atom and its valence electron is 8. has been written like this, and there are 4 fluorine atoms. So 4 valence electron of Xe will take up 4 fluorine atoms for the bond formation, and remaining 4 valence electron of Xe will be left out as a 2 lone pair. So there will be 6 hybrid orbitals, that is sp3d2 hybridization. The shape will be square planar and the geometry will be octahedral. So I hope this lecture will be useful for you. So I have given few problems to solve. You can try it and give your answers in comment section. If you have any doubt also you can ask me. Thank you everyone.